Hey, we wanted to make a video to talk about why there are so many Shopify Plus accounts. You can see here, I have a list of all the Shopify stores that are on Shopify Plus, and there's 26,730 leads. And, that doesn't sound right if you listen to the last earnings call. So there's just a few things that we think people should know about the Shopify Plus list. At the time of this recording, Shopify is selling Shopify Plus for $2,000 USD minimum per month. Some companies are paying much more than that, but that's pretty expensive, especially if you compare it to the regular Shopify plan. So in itself, it's a good signal that a company is doing well if they're on Plus. But there's a lot of these accounts, and they're not all doing well. And the reason for that is because when you purchase Shopify Plus, you're actually getting 10 Shopify Plus accounts. So what's happening is if you upgrade from regular Shopify to Shopify Plus, that account turns into a Plus account, and then Shopify gives you 9 more Shopify Plus accounts. If you're migrating from another platform, they would just give you 10 Shopify Plus accounts up front. And the reason for this is because people have different use cases for these different accounts. As long as the branding is the same on each account, they can use these accounts for whatever they want. So a lot of people use them as test stores, so they'll clone their main store into another store and just use that to test things out. A lot of people use them as wholesale stores, so they'll clone their main store into another store, and then they'll password protect that store, and then they'll have price breaks and things like that. And some people use them as international stores, so they'll clone their main store into another store. Let's say you have an American store, you have a Canadian version of the store that maybe has a Canada Day sale, and then the American version has a 4th of July sale, and maybe you have another store that serves another market. It's in a different language, it's in a different currency, and maybe it's connected to a different warehouse with different inventory. So international stuff is a big use case. And there are a few agencies that are purchasing a bulk amount of Shopify Plus stores at a discount and passing the savings on to their customers. So that's another thing to watch out for. Universal Records has a couple hundred Shopify Plus accounts that they've purchased for their artists. And, there's just a bunch of these nuances, right? So maybe like people that have negotiated super good deals during the early days of Plus, etc. Staff accounts is another one. So if somebody used to work at Shopify and then they left, they get a Shopify Plus account. So we want to filter out all of those, because really what we're looking for is the accounts that are on Shopify Plus because they're doing well, so it makes sense for them to be on Shopify Plus and pay the $2,000 plus per month price tag. So you can see here, there's 26,730 leads. One way to filter out all the small Shopify Plus accounts is by using the percentile field, specifically the platform rank percentile field. And if you're interested to learn more about this field, I've made another video that I'll link in the description of this one that talks about it, because it's really good to use for other reports. So my feeling here is if an account is doing so well that it makes sense for them to purchase Shopify Plus, they would be in at least the top 5% of the Shopify database. And that's how this filter works. It looks at all the stores that are on the same platform as each other, and it compares them against each other, and then it gives them a percentile score. You can think of it like the phrase, they're in the top 1% of their class. So in this case, what I'm doing is I'm looking for all the stores that are in the top 5% of the Shopify database that are on Shopify Plus. And by doing that, I've cut out around half the leads. So now I only have 14,173 leads. And these are probably really good leads where they're on Plus because it makes sense for them to be on Plus. There's two other tips. One is the ability to export a CSV with a specific flag. And the other is the ability to sync with your CRM, so HubSpot or Salesforce or any other supported CRMs. We're constantly adding integrations, so maybe that will change by the time you watch this video, but right now we only have Salesforce and HubSpot. But please check the integrations page, and I'll link that in the description of this video as well. Before I get into this though, I want to show you two examples of what these expansion stores look like. That's what they call them. So here, I'll look for all the stores that are on Plus that have the word wholesale in their description. And you can see here that this store is on Shopify Plus. It's called wholesale.press.com. And If you look here, there's another store that is also on Plus that looks the exact same, but one is a wholesale store. It's technically a completely different account than this one, which is a direct-to-consumer store. If I type in FR in the filter here, I can look for all the Shopify Plus accounts that have FR dot in their domain. So here you can see cupshe.com is using one of their expansion stores to cater to the French market, and they have another store which is technically a completely different account, which is for their North American market. And the stores look very similar. It's just that one is, in euros and it's in French, and the other one is in USD and it's in English and probably has different inventory, etc. So a really good example is Gymshark. You can see here that Gymshark has 15 Shopify Plus accounts that they're using as international stores. So you probably don't want to export all 15 of these stores. And what you can do is if you only want one of these stores, there's an export option right here called Do Not Export Every Merchant Subdomain. And by clicking that, you can see now I only have one store, which is their main store, gymshark.com. And main is defined by however you want to define it as. The way you can choose what the main store would be is by ordering the list. So because I have the list ordered in ascending order of how big the store is, meaning that the biggest store will come first, gymshark.com was chosen as the main store, and the system excluded the rest of the stores. But I could have reordered this list based on anything here, and that's how the main store would have been selected. And similarly, if you have CRM integrated, so you can see here I have HubSpot integrated, there is a setting to do this exact same thing, but when you're sending leads to your CRM through a workflow, and I'll link a video in the description of this one that talks about workflows, but you can see here there's a setting that says do not create separate HubSpot companies for each of the merchant's domains. Hope this helps. Please let me know if you have any questions, and please email support@storeleads.app if you have any feedback or suggestions. Thank you.